Greetings from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome back to Inspired Hands Ministries. I'm Juliet Kogwalo. Family members previously had talked about assessment. I had advised parents to take their children for assessment. And some of us are still wondering what the importance of taking this child for assessment. Is it going to change any condition? Is it going to make life better? Assessment is expensive. It's a lot of work. But I want to tell you that might not be the case. That might not be the reality. Because when you take this child for assessment, it helps you know at least what I am dealing with. It helps me know what I am dealing with, what you are dealing with, which kind of disability that your child is having. When you go for the assessment, you're going to be told the placement of this child. They will tell you where this child need to go for schooling, especially the school, or and if it is special need, they're going to tell you exactly which school that you need to take this child to. After going for the assessment, that's when you're going to know what kind of medication that you need to give this child. Because sometimes we end up giving our kids the wrong medication. For example, if the child is super jumpy, ADHD, and what you think, because you cannot just put a finger as to why this child is very jumpy, you end up giving this child Piriton because you want the child to sleep. You want the child to tone down. And that is wrong. The moment you take this child for assessment, they will tell you exactly which medication you need to give this child. You're not supposed to give the child Piriton. You're not to give this child sleeping pills. No, that's not the right thing to do. So that's the reason as to why you need to go for the assessment, because the assessors are going to tell you exactly what you need to do. They're going to tell you exactly which kind of therapy that this child needs to be coming for. Number 3, when you go for the assessment, that's when you're going to know which kind of food that you need to give this child. For example, the kids that are not supposed to be given wheat. They're not supposed to be eating rice. They're not supposed to be taking milk. They are not supposed to be eating chapatis, the bread, the sugar. But the moment you don't know that, you end up giving this child the wrong food. It is good for you as a parent, but it is not good for this child. So that's the reason as to why you need to go for the assessment. You'll have to meet with a nutritionist who is going to tell you which kind of food that this child needs to eat and which kind of food that this child is not supposed to be given. Another reason why it is good for you to go for the assessment is because it's going to help you know how to deal with the situation that you are already in. Because when you walk there, you're going to find many parents who have children with the same condition. At least you're going to feel, I am not alone in this journey. I am not alone in this situation. My child is not alone. There's that comfort you're going to get, that I am not alone in this journey. You're going to share notes with parents. You're going to meet a different parent. You're going to talk about the situation that you're in. You're going to discuss your children. Maybe they'll tell you, my child does this and this and this. And you tell them, my child normally behave like this and this and this when it is like this and this. And in the midst of interacting, you end up having a new friend, a person. Sometimes you just have to shift your mind, because when you get to those places, you're going to be told different things. And at the end of the day, you're not going to blame yourself for the things that you didn't know. At the end of the day, you're not going to talk about things that you don't know. You're going to know, once you go for the assessment, you're going to be told exactly what you're dealing with. You're going to be told how many times you need to go for therapy, how many times you need to give this child medication, how many times you need to do A, B, and C. Sometimes it becomes a little bit tough for us to go for the assessment because some parents feel embarrassed of the situation. They feel that my child is in a worse condition. How do I go and interact with other parents? How do I go and start discussing? How do I carry my baby? Is this thing really going to help me? But I want to tell you that it is very helpful. Assessment is really, really, really helpful. Because, for example, if you take your child for audiology, yeah, at least you're going to be told the level, or the degree of hearing loss of your child. At least you're going to know that this child needs an hearing aid, or they don't need an hearing aid. This child needs to learn sign language. This child needs to be taken to this kind of school. At least you know the degree, the level of the hearing loss of this child. Going for assessment is going to help you know this child, they need which size of a wheelchair. At least they will, the specialist is going to tell you your child needs a wheelchair, but this one is so small. The reason why they don't need this kind of wheelchair is because maybe their spinal cord is not that supportive, so they need something that is going to support them to become comfortable. When you go for assessment, you are helping this child. It is helping you and the child also. So don't ignore assessment. Don't ignore what you're doing. Don't think that whatever you're doing is not right. It is okay to have some question, and it's also okay to sit down and just say, yes, this is what it is. It is what it is, but we are here, we are going together. So don't lose hope in life. Don't lose your focus, and just sit down and say, okay, fine, this is what it is, but we are going to do A and B and C. When you go for assessment, it shows how strong you are. How strong you are with yourself. It shows the confidence that you have in your child. That is when you're going to be told that there are things that you might think, this is not the end of the world. Actually, parents, having a child with disability is not the end of the world. Having a child with cerebral palsy is not the end of the world. Having a child with autism, it's not the end of the world. Having a child who has different, like, they're just different, it's not the end of the world. They are people who make the world beautiful. They make the world go round. They help us think differently. Having a child with disability shows that you are strong, because God can only give you something that you can handle. And that is the reason as to why I am telling you, I'm encouraging you that it is right. It is good for you to go for an assessment. Don't ignore the assessment part. Don't ignore yourself. Don't ignore others. Don't ignore medication. Give them what they need at the right time for the right reason. This is Inspired Hands Ministries. I'm Juliet, and have a good day. Enjoy your time.